Halloween fan, and as somebody who is a consumer for the Halloween community and loves to purchase new items every year for my new setups, I have to say I've been thoroughly disappointed lately with certain companies when it comes down to what they produce with Halloween. Sadly, a lot of companies have just decided to go life-size, kid-friendly, or inflatable, kid-friendly. Now, I'm not talking about this year, but in the past, we've seen this kind of build up to the point to where nothing is really scary anymore. And the subject I want to talk about in this video is going to be a video that's probably going to be slightly controversial if you are a Spirit Halloween fan. Now, just keep in mind, I love Spirit Halloween. It is one of my all-time favorite Halloween stores. It is a store I wished I could have grown up more with, but sadly, Spirit Halloween just didn't exist where I used to live back when I was younger. But I do know about Spirit Halloween and what they used to produce compared to what they produce now. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who are so passionate about Spirit, and I get that. You don't ever want to abandon something or hate on something that you have just loved so much as a kid. And I get that, because the same thing kind of went with me and Jimmy. Jimmy, for a while, has been struggling, and they've had their fair share of horrible props and their fair share of horrible designs. Now, what I'm about to talk about is going to be a subject I think would just be a good idea. This is just a simple concept discussion. It's nothing I feel like needs to happen, because I feel like whatever Spirit Halloween is doing is still obviously working just because of the flagship turnout. Now, I love a lot of the props this year, but there are definitely a lot of props this year that definitely just don't capture my attention, and I feel like just didn't need to be produced. And for me, I was thinking about the concept as I was sitting here, and this is a video I've been thinking about a lot, which is why I haven't really posted anything. I remember an old store, and it's not really that old yet, I guess you could say, because it just recently closed a couple years ago. A store where all kids wanted to be, young and older. A store that held video games, bunches and bunches of toys, as far as the eye could see, and amazing types of technology. And that was a store known as Toys R Us. Toys R Us was a place for kind of more kids who were just a little older than, I guess you could say, 5 to 6 years old. This store was an amazing place where you could find board games, action figures, Lego sets, Thomas the Train Engine sets, etc. You found so many cool things there. But I thought Toys R Us, and then I thought, well, I remember an old sister branch that of Toys R Us that existed during the time and the life cycle of Toys R Us in general, and that was Babies R Us.
Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no!
Now, why am I mentioning this? Because Babies R Us at the time was a place for moms and dads who had just had kids. This place held a lot of really unique items for babies, a lot of unique baby toys, baby accessories like carriages, strollers, etc.
Nobody cares.
And even cribs. Now, I'm using this as a reference because I thought it was a genius idea. And it obviously worked for Toys R Us for a long time. Sadly, though, they did close down, but that was only just due to the fact that they didn't get on board with the online ordering as soon as other companies did. This store, known as Babies R Us, was more for a child, I guess, or you could say a more younger side. Now, again, why am I mentioning this? Because I wanted to apply it to this concept idea that I was thinking. Because whether you like this year or not for Spirit, I think we can all admit that a lot of the props this year are very lackluster in the amount of horror and gore that we were hoping we would get this year. And a lot of people always like to reference back to like Barnyard Butcher, and sadly, it just seems like we have just not gotten what we were hoping. Now, there are a good handful of good animatronics like Monty, Possessed Pumpkin, Lord Raven, and even Bok Zombie. And while these are all very well designed, I feel like a lot of the other props like Little Skelly Bones, the groundbreaking clown this year, Betty Sharp, and Nozzles the Clown, in my opinion, are just really kid-friendly to me. They're not creepy, and they're not very gory, I guess you could say. Now, there is two separate sections of the audience of Spirit Halloween. You got your more mature side, which are 13 and up, and then you got your more kid-friendly side, which are your 13 and below. And there are a lot of parents out there who don't want to expose their kids to gore, and I completely get that. I understand. The issue is that Spirit seems to lean more towards the family-friendly section and completely shoves away the entire more mature audience. Now, me as a part of the mature audience can learn to appreciate the more kid-friendly props. However, I still find it very hard for me to enjoy them because it's just not what I grew up with.
Okay, boomer.
Now, I probably sound like some kind of boomer, I guess you could say, when it comes down to me just saying, oh, back in my day. But truly, when I was younger, I grew up with a lot more violent things, and yet I learned to absolutely love those. So I'm bringing this up because I wanted to discuss the idea of Spirit Halloween possibly opening a junior store, or Spirit Halloween Junior.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's just a concept I thought of. I thought it would be a very interesting idea to see if Spirit Halloween could maybe pull off a junior side to their store. I think it'd be interesting to see how they could do it. I don't feel like, honestly, making a completely separate store for a junior store would make sense. But rather, I know back during the time, Toys R Us, especially around where I lived, opened a store where they collided a Toys R Us with a Babies R Us. One side was Babies R Us and the other half was Toys R Us, split directly down the middle and nothing else. And I thought it would be an interesting concept if we could possibly get a junior store. Now, what's the point in all of this? Well, I feel like it would be able to appease to a lot more of a mature and younger audience and a more family-friendly audience. A Spirit Halloween Junior store would be able to hold animatronics like we see right now, Betty Sharp or Little Skelly Bones, etc. These animatronics would be more kid-friendly, and I feel like these animatronics that are cool but yet not violent could be set in the junior store that are more family-friendly and more, I guess you could say, cool to children. While the other half of the Spirit Halloween store would be able to hold a more mature audience kind of animatronic display. Similar to like Grimm or Barnyard Butcher, etc. A lot of these animatronics that we see nowadays, we can all admit, are just not like what Spirit used to sell. And a lot of them are just very, very, I guess you could say, friendly towards kids. And they all just kind of lack an amount of horror. But are they cool? Yes. I think a lot of the animatronics this year are very cool. I love the designs. But when it comes down to what they do, how they look, on the gory kind of side, it's just not my all-time favorite cup of tea. Now, what do I feel like Spirit should possibly do in order to allow this to happen? Well, I thought about it, and I thought it would be kind of cool, honestly, if Spirit Halloween could split their store down the middle, have a junior side and a more adult side. The adult side holds things for more adults, like adult costumes, more adult kind of animatronics, while the junior side holds things for kids and has things and animatronics that are more for kid-friendly, I guess you could say, enjoyment. Now, while this might be an interesting concept, I feel like a lot of people could possibly disagree with me. But I feel like that this kind of, I guess you could say, shape of doing it would allow Spirit Halloween to not only be able to produce even more animatronics for the year, but it would also open a lot more job opportunities for a lot more people. And going back to what I said just now, allowing Spirit Halloween to do this would open a door for them to produce even more. They could have a junior side, which allows you to see all these animatronics on like a more kid-friendly level, and then on the other side they have like a whole new line of more violent animatronics, like I said, similar to Barnyard Butcher, or maybe that's where we see killers like Michael Myers or like Freddy Krueger or something. These animatronics would be more for adults and the more mature audience, where moms and dads wouldn't have to worry, I guess you could say where moms and dads don't care if their kids are exposed to violence. So that way Spirit Halloween would not get in trouble with families or moms or dads about gore, but they actually have the option to be able to just walk into any store that they want. If they don't care, they can walk into the adult side. If they do care, they could walk into the junior side. Split it down the middle with a piece of wall, and you've got yourself 2 separate stores for both separate audiences, which would be, in my opinion, a really good idea. But again, it's just a discussion, and I would love to hear your all's thoughts and opinions in the comments below, because I feel like that this would be an interesting concept to maybe try for Spirit next year or in the years to come. If they ever were to hear this video, I think it would be interesting. I think it would be a good way to appease both of your audiences at the same time, instead of trying to make an in-between kind of animatronic theme for Spirit, I guess you could say, that appeases to both sides. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's always going to be more kid-friendly than anything. But again, it's just an opinion, discussion, and a concept idea for Spirit Halloween. Don't get me wrong, I love Spirit, and I love what they do. But anyways, you all, hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. I always try to upload weekly, never try to disappoint. Without any further ado, I'm going to go and get out of here. This is Jimmy Bones, signing off. I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.